This is probably the most iconic building in Sofia, Bulgaria. But what most tourists don't know is why this was built, who paid for it, and why it's named after a Russian saint. Come with me because there is much more to Alexander Nevsky Cathedral than those famous golden dome. And yeah, this is Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. Yeah, I'm taking you inside this famous landmark. So let's explore it together. Standing here in the heart of Sofia, it's hard not to be impressed by the size of cathedral. The golden domes, the huge stones, the wall, and incredible details. But the story behind this building is even more fascinating. The decisions to build the cathedral was made in 1879, shortly after Bulgaria's liberations from Ottoman rules. It was planned as a memorial to the people who died during the Russo-Turkish War of 1877 to 1878, and also as an expression of gratitude for Bulgarians' liberation. The original idea was to build it in Bulgaria's historical capital, Veliko Tarnovo. But eventually, the decision was made to build it here in Sofia, the new capital. And that's how one of the most recognizable landmarks in Sofia began. Now, here's something interesting. The foundation stone was laid in 1882, but the construction didn't actually begin until 1904, and the cathedral was finally completed in 1912. So from the original idea in 1879 to the completed building, we are talking about more than 3 decades. Yeah. It was not built by just one person. The final decisions was created by Russian architect Alexander Pomerantsev, while Bulgarian architect, engineers, craftsmen, and companies were also involved. In fact, the cathedral's official history says that more than 150 companions participated in this project. So this really was a huge international construction project. And then there is the name. Why Alexander Nevsky? The cathedral is named after the Saint Alexander Nevsky, a medieval Russian prince and military leader who later became a saint of Russian Orthodox Church. He was also the patron saint of Russian Emperor Alexander II, who is remembered in Bulgaria as the Tsar Liberator. So the name connects to the cathedral directly to the Russian role in Bulgaria's liberations. And that connection is one of the reasons this building is not a religious monument, but also a very important part of Bulgarian's national history. So we already came inside, and this is where I would say don't saying. Look at the enormous columns, marbles, and the chandelier, frescoes, the icon, and all tiny details. The cathedral was decorated by some of the most important Bulgarian and Russian artists of the time. Around 20 Russian and 30 Bulgarian artists contributed to this painting and decorations, and you can really feel the mixture of Bulgarian and Russian artistic traditions inside. Take your time here, look up the domes, iconos, and walk around slowly because there are details everywhere. Let's talk about the money while you were checking this beautiful cathedral, because this was definitely not a small project. The total cost of construction came to around 5.5 million Bulgarian leva at that time. And the money came from different sources, including Bulgarian state, municipalities, and voluntary donation. In fact, around 1.9 million leva was collected through voluntary donation. Imagine the scale of that amount at the beginning of the 20th century. And when you see the materials and craftsmanship inside, you start to understand why the project was so expensive. And here is another fascinating part of the cathedral that many visitors don't realize is here. The crypt. Today, the crypt houses the Museum of Christian Art, part of the Bulgarian's National Gallery. And if you love history, art, religion, and I definitely recommend going downstairs. The museum has one of the richest collections of Christian art in Bulgaria. Individual medieval Bulgarian icon, fresco, fragments, and other religious work. The crypt was actually originally designed, but no burials ever took place here. Instead, it became a museum. The museum is a separate attraction from the main cathedral. So there is an entrance fee. At the moment, the National Gallery lists the adults ticket 10 euros with reduced ticket for students, pensioners, and visitors aged 50 years and over. And every Thursday, there is a special 2 euro ticket price. So if you're planning your Sofia itinerary around museum, Thursday could be good day to visit. Now, what about visiting the cathedral itself? The good news for traveler is entry to the main entrance is free, where you can see. The official opening hours is currently 7 in the morning until 7 in the evening every day. But remember, this is an active Orthodox cathedral. So if you visit the service, be respectful. And if you want to experience the cathedral as a place of worship rather than simply as a tourist attraction, you can also check the service schedules. Sunday, main ligatory begins at 9:30 in the morning. So when should you visit? Personally, I recommend coming early in the morning if you want fewer people and more peaceful experience. And honestly, it will give you at least an hour here, longer you want to visit the crypt. Don't just take the famous photo from outside. Go inside, take a look. This is not just one of the most beautiful buildings in Sofia. It's one of the places that tells you the story of Sofia and Bulgaria without saying a word. And that for me is what makes traveling so special. Thank you so much for staying with me. And don't forget to like, comment, and share my video. Thank you. See you next time.